and counting. Dore is the former Israeli ambassador to the UN and author of the book, The Fight for Jerusalem. Dore, do you believe what I've just said about Bush? He's going to confront this before he leaves?
Well, I think what's becoming clear right now is that Iran has region-wide ambitions, and it's almost as though Ahmadinejad has decided to reveal them. You mentioned the one statement he said about coming into Iraq and being the dominant power. But we're seeing evidence of Iranian political expressions vis-a-vis Bahrain, which they view as an Iranian province. And just at the end of July, it was disclosed that there was a meeting of Hezbollah with Kuwaiti Shiites to talk about creating a kind of state within a state among Kuwaiti Shiites, who are 30% of the population. Iran is on a roll.
Do you believe this is why Saudi Arabia has now put 35,000 security troops around their oil fields? 35,000. I think for our entire border, what do we have? 15,000? 35,000 people around their oil fields. Is that why Saudi Arabia just senses and knows, here it comes?
The real threat to these countries in the Persian Gulf is not the Iranian Air Force, it's subversion. The majority, or almost the majority, about 50%, of the oil-producing area, the eastern province of Saudi Arabia, is made up of Saudi Shiites, who for years have been rather quiet. But the Iranians are trying to drum up the resentment of Shiites to their Sunni masters. And it can be anticipated that the Ahmadinejad and his Revolutionary Guards will attempt to create havoc in the Saudi oil fields in the years ahead.
You know, I talked to Benjamin Netanyahu about this, and people on the street will say, Glenn, you're crazy. He verified this. Here you are, a former ambassador from the UN, and what people don't understand or don't take seriously is the end of days scenario that Ahmadinejad and the Ayatollah have in mind. They don't understand. You know, Christians and Jews, they all look for an end of days scenario at some point, but this sect wants it to happen.
Absolutely correct, Glenn. What you have in Iran today, Shiism has always looked forward to the return of the 12th descendant of Ali, the son-in-law of Muhammad, who they think is the head, the rightful head of the Islamic community. The hidden imam, the 12th imam, according to Ahmadinejad and the people who support his sect of Shiism, can be accelerated. They can push a fast-forward button and bring him into appearing in about 2 years' time. That is what makes his view of Shiite Islam so dangerous, because they believe only an Armageddon and a great deal of violence will produce this result.
And when they call us, the United States, the great Satan, what they mean is the Antichrist. They believe the Antichrist is alive and well, and it's not a person, it is us. The other thing I wanted to touch base with you is I think people don't understand that us leaving would create more terrorists. And that's counterintuitive. The Democrats are now saying that we're creating more terrorists by being there. How would leaving create more terrorists?
Well, I don't want to make a suggestion as an Israeli what the United States should do in Iraq. Those are your troops. However, I will say this. Whether you leave in 3 months or in 3 years, you have to understand that withdrawal engenders jihadism. Al-Qaeda was formed in 1989 when the Soviets were defeated in Afghanistan and withdrew. When Israel withdrew from the Gaza Strip, Hamas won the Palestinian elections and Al-Qaeda went into Gaza. You have to understand that is the dynamic of radical Islam.
Ambassador, thank you very much. That is the real story tonight. And if you'd like to read more about the latest from Iran, or if you found a real story of your own, please tell us about it. Visit Glenn